love it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut, cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called the Barbershop.
Yo, what up, folks? Welcome back. It's a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. I'm Trey Frazier, and that's the homie Maestro Styles right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can watch us live on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitch, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Yo, bro, what's good, man? How we feeling?
I'm good, man. How you?
I'm good, bro. Can't wait to get this show started, man. We got a lot to get into. I first want to give a quick shout out. My son's soccer team, indoor soccer team, they just wrapped up their indoor season on Sunday. They won 4-3 on a penalty kick with like 44 seconds left. So shout out to the team. It was a rough 7 games to say the least. They had about 7 games indoors, and they went 2-4-1. But you know they learned a lot of things, and you know it was nice to get that win for the kids. You know, to kind of seal that deal. Now he's got practice this week. First game outdoors this Sunday. Probably got about 8-9 games this spring outdoors. So definitely looking forward to that.
For sure. That's what's up. Man. Yeah, I'm good on my side, man. Look, man, just been ripping and running, man. As you could tell, the bags under my eyes are heavy. But hey, man, it's all good, man. Let's get it. How your bracket doing, man?
Oh, yeah, you get right into it.
Let's get right to it, man.
Somebody told me today was Maryland Day today, so you know it's only right that we celebrate Maryland. But since you asked me about the bracket, 3 of the regions that I predicted are still intact. My final 4 was St. John's, and you know St. John's got knocked out by Arkansas. Michigan, Arizona, and Houston were the other 3 teams in the final 4. So I'm still intact as far as those 3 teams are concerned. So where's your final 4 at?
I was trying to remember. I was trying to read it really quick because I'm really confused at what I'm reading, and as you know, because I don't watch a whole bunch of college basketball, but I have been watching some of the tournament. By the way, I just want to be clear, I have been watching some of the tournament. But I don't know if this. I know my joints say 43%. I'm trying to figure out exactly. Let's do it this way.
Well, I know who you got winning the whole thing. That right. I do know. So out of my final 4,
yeah, I have 3 teams still intact. There you go. That's how you figure it out. Michigan State, Maryland, and Purdue. My other heart pick, St. Mary, is gone.
Is that Mount St. Mary's or the other one, St. Mary's? SMC. Okay.
Obviously they're gone. So.
Yeah.
But you know, but Maryland, man, Maryland, we still there. You know,
men's and women's side,
and women's side for sure. If I don't remember, and trust me, like I said, I don't remember all this. But I think I had the girls out a little sooner.
Okay.
I'm actually
trying. So you did a bracket for the women too, because I didn't do a bracket for the women.
I did.
Okay. You're doing more than me.
I mean, because it was so easy to pick, because it's not like I was picking with any type of idea of how teams were playing. I mean, look, it was easy. The women's, to be honest with you, was just South Carolina going to be there.
The usual suspects, yeah.
Right. And to be honest with you, but not to be honest, I mean, I had SC winning the whole thing, and SC meaning
South Carolina.
No, I'm USC.
USC.
That's why I was correcting myself, because I had Juju winning the whole thing, and unfortunately, that's probably not going to be the case. Get well soon to Juju.
Prayers to Juju.
But I had her winning the whole thing, and obviously, like I said, it was more of a heart thing than a actually knowing what's going on thing. But
they were legit. They were legit title contenders.
I'm sure. Well, look, this is what I know. I know Juju was nice, and I watched her cook UConn earlier this year.
Right,
so,
when you was at my house. That's right.
Yes. So I'm like, all right, I will roll with her, and and see if she could take down the dynasty that is South Carolina. But
not a bad pick. Not a bad
right.
pick.
Like I know I couldn't go wrong. Especially I saw the seasons. It's a safe pick. All the things. So I just went with that. But so that bracket is pretty much done.
Because and I don't know what the configurations is. I know they were supposed to run into UConn in the Elite Eight, if I remember correctly. So it was supposed to be Page versus Juju for the right to go to the Final Four.
And let me correct myself, not for nothing. I mean, look, all three. I got three out of the that I still got three in the fight. So USC, South Carolina, and Texas are still in the fight.
Okay, yeah, Texas is legit. They're another legit contender. But yeah, UConn, South Carolina, Texas, USC, Notre Dame is kind of legit also.
Yeah.
But we'll see about that. But I guess since you're talking women's, I imagine you didn't get to watch the women's double overtime game.
No, not
Terps,
at all.
Man.
I was
busy,
say the least.
Man, I forget what I was doing yesterday. I was ripping and running around through the house trying to, get the kids straight with their homework. It was about 6:00 yesterday, and I said, "Oh yeah, the Lady Terps came on at 5:00. Let me go turn the game on and see how they doing." And I turned the game on, and they're down by 17 points to Alabama. Now doing a little bit of research, Alabama had a really good year. They got this girl, Sarah Barker, who dropped 45 in the game yesterday.
Yep.
But she ended up on the losing side still, but she still, balled out. But I watched that thing from the time they was down 17 all the way to the end of regulation, man. Big 3-point shot to tie it with about maybe 6 seconds left in the game, double overtime. And the Terps, they pull it out, man. Brenda Freeze got them playing, some tough basketball right now, man. Shout out, look, again, man, I'm not gonna sit here. I didn't see that game, first of all, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like, all of a sudden, because I didn't watch a couple of college basketball games, all of a sudden I'm a college basketball aficionado. Just talk about what you know, man. Talk about what you.
I'll talk about what I saw,
what you saw, right?
I saw I'm scrolling through trying to remember every game I saw, which I saw. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling as I did not see. I definitely saw some of. I saw Maryland in Colorado State when Colorado in the first half, when Colorado State was job bodying them and doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, in the paint. Yeah.
Front court
terrible.
Yeah, I was in the. Yeah, I was. We was watching it in the studio. I was kind of back and forth because I'm kind of working, but so I didn't really get a good look. I did see the St. John's game, and I won against Arkansas, and I wanted to say because I saw your tweet about 3-point shooting, and I was looking, like, as I looked at that game, both teams shot terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, when I looked at that game, it really just looked like Arkansas was the more aggressive team. The more they was just getting to it a little bit more. I don't know that shooting had anything to do with that game. But that's one game I saw.
Well, can I retort?
Sure. Of course you can.
So St. John. So that was. I said it earlier. That was one of my Final Four teams. I actually had them going to the, last game for the championship. I had them losing to Houston, but I think realistically, and I watched maybe 3 of their regular season games this past season, and I've listened and I've seen other people's commentary on this team, and boy, the bar was just raised so high, and I guess rightfully so when you got, one of the greatest coaches in, college basketball, coaching the program. But in the games that I've watched, they don't shoot very well. This wasn't to me, this wasn't an Arkansas, did something, to them. This is what St. John's was the entire year. They didn't shoot the 3 ball all that great. And to your point, Arkansas definitely didn't shoot it all that well. What was the stat? 28, 29 offensive rebounds for St. John's in that game. And they was
missing layups. Yeah, they was missing layups. I don't, I'm not going to pretend to know these players' names and certainly not remember them from when I was watching the game. But I mean, their star player was like 1 for 8, like
RJ Luis Jr.
He was 1 through 8, and the other part that I didn't consider because I don't watch college basketball is shout out to Patino in St. John's, but shit, Calipari's on the other side in Arkansas.
Yeah, no, I think that was, and I think that's the reason why they put those 2 teams on that side of the bracket with that potential, matchup. So yeah, props to Calipari. Low expectations on his side in terms of the team that he's got in Arkansas, but it don't matter. Usually with these guys, it doesn't matter where they go. The coach, they always, preach the kind of same things, and is able to get this team, to a Sweet 16. So shout out to him. But St. John's, I think folks really set the bar too high for this team.
Because they was number 2 though. When they ranked number 2 in there,
they would have 2 seed. They got a 2 seed. They won the Big East tournament, which is to me what got them the number 2 seed, and rightfully so. They earned that. But my eyes and what I saw, and again, it was just 3 games. I think somebody that's watched a little bit more than I would kind of say the same thing. Hey, this is a tough team, gritty. It's the Big East, so Big East games are different than SEC, Big Ten, ACC, that kind of a thing. But I just didn't, and again, I picked with my heart that they would get to the final game. But realistically, when you watch them stylistically and knowing the teams that they're going to have to face at some point, it was going to come back to bite them at some point.
Sure, but I think it was realistic for a team to believe. For a person to believe. Even me as a casual, less than casual, and I won't keep pointing up. I want to be clear that I am not a college basketball watcher. I can watch basketball and identify what's going on, but I'm not a college basketball watcher. But I'm sure people came into this game and didn't think. This is a winnable game. This was a winnable game
for sure.
St. John's, you know what I'm saying? For sure. When I looked at that game, at no point did I feel like Arkansas. You're right. Arkansas didn't do anything like special. Like they weren't fooled. It was just out hustled. And you can credit that to what you want to credit it to. But I didn't look at that game and say, oh, St. John's lost because they lack shooting. I looked at that game and saw that they just couldn't out hustle Arkansas.
And Patino rested his best player in the last 5 minutes of the game
with the foul trouble.
It wasn't foul trouble.
Well, I don't know who his best player. I know
RJ Luis Jr.
Okay, well, who was the big guy who had 4 fouls pretty much throughout the game?
I know who you're talking about. His name escapes me.
Because I felt like that made a big, and this is just
that definitely factors in for sure.
Yeah, because they was getting dealt with in the paint.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just looking at it, your best player, he got you, he's the one that kind of helped you get to this point, get you to earn that, 2 seed in the tournament. And look, he wasn't shooting the ball all that well. You alluded to it, 1 for 8 I think maybe 4 for 15 overall. Patino said he played about 36 minutes. And in my head, I'm like, are you saying that to say that he's tired, or like, because the guy asked him like yo, he was asking him, why did you bench RJ in the last 5 minutes of the game? And of course, Patino, kind of got in his feelings a little bit about him asking the question. But I think watching it, I think we all know, or at least I know, that he wasn't giving you anything offensively, and he wasn't giving you anything defensively. He wasn't giving you hustle plays. There's those things that they say where if you're not scoring, there's other ways you can help with your team. He wasn't doing those other things to help the team win. So,
and that's where I was confused. And that's where I was confused at. So, like, I heard the comment again. I heard the commentator saying, "Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy." But I mean, it's hard to believe it's hard for me to believe watching the game that he's the guy. And again, this is me not watching St. John's. Let me be clear.
Yeah, no, gotcha.
It's hard. Okay, if so, clearly he got sat down because he wasn't providing anything. So if you ain't providing anything, how would you I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that guy was the star player on that team. Whereas I saw the difference when I don't know, I think he was a 4, he was either 4 or 5. You saw the difference when he was on the floor more so than you saw the difference when I guess their leading scorer was on the floor. Sure. So
definitely factored in.
Yeah, I credit that loss more to them being out hustled and more so to that 4 or the 5, that big man being benched because he got in foul trouble early, way more than I would equate it to that guy not scoring. And that's just
I could understand it from this standpoint, because I hear people saying, yo, like, if this is the guy that got you here, you need to go down with the ship with this guy. I kind of agree with that. He's in a slump. Maybe, when things get tight and, the moments arrive, and there was a moment in that game before Arkansas, pulled away, in those final 2 minutes. Hey, maybe he hits a big shot, and maybe you're kind of right back in this thing, and you got a little bit of control. But he sat him, and then Arkansas kind of pulled away. I think it ended up being a 9-point deficit.
So. Shout out Mike Patton, because I wanted to make sure I was reading the comments, because Arkansas was missing their leading scorer. Arkansas. So they lost to a team that didn't have their leading scorer. St. John's had their leading scorer, and it was still,
right. And he struggled. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's it just didn't look like St. John's. I get it, 2 seed. You win the tournament, like all those things, but it didn't seem like they was up to the task. Is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, didn't seem that way, man. But like I said, I didn't, in my head, I didn't really see them going far. I thought. But
clearly, you had them beating Arkansas.
I clearly had them beating Arkansas for sure. I thought Sweet 16 was probably the ceiling for them, just kind of based on the style of play and who they were gonna run up against. Realistically, Sweet 16. You're probably looking at a success for the program. Now, inside, they'll probably tell you, yo, nah, it's a failure. This is an opportunity. St. John's been, dead for about 20 years. We back on the map now. But look, you got a coach that's going to attract players now. NIL, transfer portal, all that stuff. Like, I think St. John's is in a good place now as long as he's there. So I think there's room for them to, get better.
Well, shout out to like you said, shout out to St. John's. I don't think I had them going to the Final Four like you did. I had to make room for St. Murray. So,
well, Maryland, because Maryland, because I in my bracket I had Maryland and St. John's both facing each other in the Elite Eight. So
I was talking about my bracket. Like I didn't have St. John's going that far. And again,
right, because you had Maryland going in that. At least
you talking about based on regions?
Based on the region.
I was just being facetious, to be honest with you. Again, I promise you, dog. I was sitting there picking like, I like them. No, I don't like. I got McNeese right in the first round. Or
I got McNeese too. I got McNeese.
Yeah.
I got what's the other upset? Drake. I picked Drake.
I don't think I picked Drake
in that first upset. I got that one too.
I can't see me picking Drake winning anything right now. So you know what I'm saying?
Come on, dog. Don't do that. Yeah.
No.
I think I went like 14-2 on the first day. Thursday.
Yeah, I did good. I know I had like 93%. I didn't look at every game I won as opposed to lost, but I was like, oh shit, I did good the first round, but then second round got back to normal.
Second round, a little iffy. I think I thought I could get UConn maybe to that Sweet 16, but they've had a rough year, and I think their game in that second round kind of showed it. So no repeat champion this year.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely I know my percentages are like 53.2. I'm ranked 2.5 million. So
hey, back to Maryland though. To the men's Maryland team, and well, before I go any further, just for the listeners out there, we got a guest coming on to talk Milwaukee Bucks, Green Bay Packers. This guy's show is called Amara's Logic. He does a pregame, postgame, before and after every Milwaukee Bucks game. So he's going to come on with us shortly to kind of talk about that. Definitely looking forward to that for sure. Back to the Maryland game, their win against Colorado State, the buzzer beater. Shout out to Derek Queen, the Baltimore kid. I was trying to think about the biggest shot, like the last time Maryland had a big shot like that. I was thinking about Gravis Vasquez, because Gravis had a couple of them buzzer beaters, during his heyday, with the team. But obviously, when you think of Maryland, you always refer to the championship from 2002, Steve Francis, Steve Blake, and those guys, Juan Dixon. You always think about that group. You always think about that.
Lonnie Baxter, Chris Wilcox.
Yep,
that was a team.
Yeah.
That was a team.
Sure.
I don't think Steve Francis is on that championship team though.
You don't? I thought he was. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Steve Blake and Juan Dixon on the front court, Lonnie Baxter center. I forget who Chris Wilcox, power forward. I forget.
I remember Wilcox. Yeah,
I forget who the three was, but I think he had already left. Steve.
You might be right.
Yeah, I think
he might have been gone already. You might be right about that. But I thought about Gravis Vasquez. I know you don't watch college basketball, but I
remember Gravis Vasquez.
Yeah, but I if you go to YouTube, he had a couple big shots. In a tournament some years ago, so maybe 2013, 2014 ish, something like that. But man, that was a great win for that team, man. They've had buzzer beaters go against them. I think they've had about 4 of them this year. You go back to the Big Ten tournament where they lost on a buzzer beater to Michigan. Yep, Michigan. They lost to Northwestern on a buzzer beater, and they lost to 2 other teams in the Big Ten. I can't remember. I think one of them was Ohio State. They've had about 4 losses to buzzer beaters and stuff. And I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm saying to myself, because it was a 2-point game, and I'm like, man, this would be so fitting if they lost this game on a last second shot. This is kind of how their season has been going. And of course, dude from Colorado State hits the big 3 to go up by 1. And then I like what Derek Queen said. He's like, yo, I want the ball. My man was like, yeah, give me that ball. And man, off the glass, like, tough fadeaway shot off the glass. And that's got to feel good for him. He's making media rounds and stuff. I saw him on McAfee earlier today
Yeah, but and shout out to him for doing that. But I ain't gonna hold you. Slow down a little bit. Like this is way too early in the tournament to be doing press runs, bro. Like I feel like lock in, bro. Like I ain't saying don't talk to nobody, but like I feel like they as media should blow up the moment.
Yeah,
media
absolutely.
should do that. But
Absolutely.
I mean, if I honestly I feel like I'm seeing a little bit too much of them on social media, on TV shows. Like I don't like.
Yeah, I've only seen them on McAfee. I haven't seen them anywhere else.
Okay, maybe I'm seeing a repeated clip of that. But is that what he was talking about? Where he do his meal prep at a restaurant in Baltimore? That was McAfee.
I think that was on McAfee.
Okay, maybe okay. I just know when I'm scrolling my timeline today, and I'm just like, damn, like, all right, like, bro, we didn't.
He deserved it though. He deserved it though.
He deserves the accolades. I just don't know if I care for in the middle of the tournament. Like, dog, lock in. And again, I don't pretend to watch a whole bunch of college basketball. You're gonna hear a lot of it when we're talking about this, but. Like I don't know how important or what his role is on the team. If he's the main,
he's the best player on the team.
Okay,
he's the best player on the team. And they call them the Crab Five in homage to the Fab Five. They call it the Crab Five. But Angel Reese's brother is also in that starting lineup too. Julian Reese. He balled out. I think he had a double in the game. So those five guys are they are the best of that team. I mean, the bench barely did anything. I think 2 points off the bench, which is really not going to cut it when you starting to go up against these top seeds. Now they got Florida, which and I haven't watched any Florida games, but they're the number 1 seed for a reason. I've heard people talk about them as one of the favorites. This is going to be tough for them, but I got to be honest with you, man. I think they're going to find a way to get past Florida. I picked them on my bracket. Like I said, I had them in St. John's. Well, let me 8. So
let me just go on. I got Maryland winning the whole thing. I ain't no punk.
Go ahead.
That just is what it is. I got them winning the whole thing. I don't care.
Go ahead.
I'm on what I'm on. Like anybody who's gonna try to hit me with, but Florida this and this team this. Hey, bro, I ain't watched it all year, and I'm from this area, so it just is what it is. Nah, I got look. Even if you right, I'm saying no, it's not happening. Even if you're right, because if
they lose, hey, it ain't happening.
If they lose, I'll just say, all right, you was right. But if they win, everybody talk to me nice, because if we fucking around and win, I'm gonna turn up. And
I got him beating Florida. I got him beating Florida.
Yeah, I got him beating Florida because it's Maryland. Say what you want to say.
I got him beating Florida because I want to be right on my bracket.
I mean, my bracket shot. So I feel like I mean, no, not really, but like
I was gonna say it ain't shot yet now.
But I don't know. Look, this is my first time really. I've done brackets before, obviously, but like I guess really cared about it, paid attention. Like, 53%. Well, how the fuck is that gonna get you a win? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking shit like that. But I guess what happened is if I got Merlin wins the whole thing. Then I would be paired with everybody who had Merlin winning the whole thing, and then that's the whole, that whole thing. But
so I gotta let's move over to the women for a second because they got a tough one on Friday. I believe they're playing South Carolina, the defending champs.
Yeah. That's where I unfortunately that my fandom stopped there.
I figured
because I'm familiar with South Carolina, like South Carolina, like you know what I'm saying.
Yep. No, I got you. I got you. Hey, Mike, we gonna get to that on the other side of the guest, bro. Like we.
Hey, bro. We can get to it right now. We can get to it right now. Maestro is hoping Pittsburgh trades that third round to go get Slim from New England Patriots. That's what I'm sold on right now.
What's the cat name again?
Joe Milton.
That's right. That's right.
I am hoping that we are willing to trade that third rounder to go get Joe Milton and find out if he's a franchise quarterback or not. I like what I seen him do against the Buffalo Bills week 18, and I'm hoping that we can build on that. And it's kind of like for not giving Justin Fields his opportunity to grow and become a franchise quarterback with us possibly, we got to give it to another black quarterback who is mobile and got an arm. I am fully on the Joe Milton hope wish list that he becomes our starting quarterback. I do not, and again, like I said last week when Mason Rudolph came in, like he should be our backup. And anybody who comes in, including Joe Milton, like it should be a competition because Mason Rudolph is familiar with the system. But I don't want him to be our starting quarterback, and I pray that Pittsburgh know a little better than that. Like I pray that they know a little better that he ain't our franchise quarterback.
He know the system, man.
He do know the system though.
But you're not the only one that I've heard want that on their wish list as far as Joe Milton is concerned. Like I've seen that all over my timeline as far as the discussions about what it would take to get him from the Patriots. So
they're asking for a third rounder. Ain't even like that's what they're asking for. Mm-hmm. So why nobody has pulled the trigger yet? That's beyond me.
Yeah.
But
your man's was in the building last week for about 6 hours.
Well, and he left. So hopefully that's the end of that.
That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, true. But hopefully
with that nigga, you never know with that dude.
Hopefully that's the end of that though, man. I'm not gonna hold you, man. I hope that's the end of that. Like you came, visited, seen the facilities. You a little bougie joint, and we are ranked as like one of the worst training facilities in the league. So it's like, all right, man. Hey, man, you ain't like it. We ain't had a bag that maybe you wanted, or the conversation that maybe you wanted, and that's it. Go on about your way.
We don't know if he like it or not, for real.
That's true.
That man is dragging us along a string, bro.
But what I believe to know about Omar Khan is that he's aggressive, though. You know what I'm saying? Like if he came to your building and he's Aaron Rodgers, he's Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers, all the things. I get it that I believe he's washed. I'm just saying you get that type of pedigree in your building. I can't imagine him letting him walk out of the building if that was really what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
If he wants to play, I'll say this, and then we'll get Amara in here.
Well, hold on, because we can keep talking. Because I don't even see him. I don't know if he's in. Is he in yet?
Yeah.
I see him. I don't see his. No, I don't see.
Okay. Yeah, you got some. Yeah, Maestro seem like he's got some issues in here. When we get Maestro back in here, we'll bring Amara up in here. I was going to make a point about having some audio issues. Okay. Just another day in the podcast, folks. Let me see if I get you back here. Maestro.
Yeah, I'm right here. I don't know. Yeah, I was having a good. Yeah, I was having a
Okay. Well, it seems like the homie was having some audio stuff too. I think he had to back out and hopefully he'll come back inside here. But I was gonna say, if he wants to play, he being Aaron Rodgers, if he wants to play, we breaking news, we just saw Russell Wilson get a 1-year deal with the Giants, and I think we saw the Vikings last week come out and say JJ is our guy. If Pittsburgh is the only option and he really want to play, don't tell me Omar ain't gonna let him back in the building now.
Look, man, it seems to me that we have a franchise quarterback issue. You know what I'm saying? So unless we feel like we competing for a Super Bowl this year, and I'm not saying we don't have the roster that can possibly do it, but I mean, like, we got running back, we got so many issues and so many unprovens right now. I would feel better if we got Joe Milton for the cheap, young, first contract, and do something with this defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Get some offensive line depth, even though I like the young core that we putting together. Like it's just I don't want to do this old person quarterback shit. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, man.
I love every second of it, man. Y'all having a chaotic offseason. But the Metcalf deal that
I'm
came
not
out of
sure if
nowhere.
it's chaotic. It's just we just don't have a quarterback, and that's a big problem. But I wouldn't call it chaotic.
Yeah, it's definitely a big problem for sure. All right, let's get the homie here. We got Amara from Amara's Logic.
What's good,
Make sure y'all
gentlemen?
check him out. What's good? Make sure y'all check his show out on YouTube. It's pre-game and post-game, before and after every Milwaukee Bucks game.
Right.
Also, Green Bay Packers fan as well. Also, you can find him on social media, on Twitter at Amaras_Logic.
Right.
Yo, bro, thanks for coming in, man.
Yes,
How's everything? What's going on?
Before we even get started, salute to you, Trey. Salute to you, Maestro.
Yes,
Appreciate you inviting me on your platform to talk sports. It's my favorite thing to do, so I appreciate y'all tapping in. I love what y'all doing. Keep grinding. YouTube is not for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
you just gotta. I'm just telling you, because even where I'm at, just going through the struggles and changes and figure out what works and not work is always a grind. But I like how y'all have everything set up right now. Y'all definitely headed in the right direction. Just don't stop.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, bro.
Don't stop, bro. Like, seriously. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't stop and just keep researching. But y'all doing what you're supposed to be doing, man. For real.
I appreciate
that.
Man. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
dope stuff, man. So let's start here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the advice that you just gave us, kind of talk about your journey and how you got your YouTube channel started. Obviously, you're a big Milwaukee Bucks fan. You originally from Milwaukee, I assume.
Yeah. Born and raised in Milwaukee.
No doubt.
Yeah, YouTube was kind of like a journey. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody kind of always have had a YouTube channel, but never had a real vision. So I had a YouTube channel for a while, trying different things from gaming to like car wash, just trying different things. But it wasn't really any passion in it. I'm seeing, they getting views doing this, and I'm kind of trying it. And I needed to find what my true calling is, what I had a passion for. So what kind of kicked it off is I was fortunate enough to be able to buy Bucks season tickets, right? So once I started doing that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to all these games. I'm seeing what's going on. People around me are enjoying what I'm talking about. And they like, bro, you should have a podcast. And sometimes just that little bit of fire, just somebody give you, points you in the right direction to give you the intestinal fortitude to keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Or like, hey, this is my lane. And that's kind of where I'm like, you know what? Regardless of what happened, win, lose, or draw, I'm just gonna stay in this lane, keep grinding, and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm doing to this day, because like people go viral off something and then just think it's just like that. And it's like it's the complete opposite in YouTube. You have to be putting out content. You got to keep the people engaged. It's just a lot to it that I've just kind of learned throughout my journey. And it's always learning. It's always learning. And, kind of broadening your horizons, because my plan in the future is to start broadening my scope as far as to talk about more general. Still keep it there, but just add in some general just to kind of broaden, the horizons. But I love talking about sports in general, and definitely about the Bucks. Obviously, clearly they're my favorite team. I'm dropping a bag to see these cats every year.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I've been literally since 5-star form been built. I done had season tickets. I call that the house that Giannis built. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
Like, I'm talking from a perspective that's there. I'm on site. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
right.
That's kind of where the passion comes from, because you there, you seeing it, you feeling the energy, and then that's just coming through on the screen when you go live. Just like I just saw y'all talking about y'all franchise quarterbacks and all. You can feel the passion coming through the screen, and that's kind of what YouTube is about, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, luckily on your side, Green Bay side, and we'll get into them in a second. Y'all got a franchise quarterback, and it's easy to feel confident, safe, protected,
security.
That type shit. So you know what I'm saying, that's a good feeling that I don't know about yet. But I've been spoiled for most of my fanship and Ben Roethlisberger. So but let's get into the Bucks, man. The Milwaukee Bucks are 40-31. I think they are number 6 right now in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how you feeling about them in their season, because I just got finished looking at people shitting on. It might have been you shitting on Kyle Kuzma since he been over there.
All I do is present the information. and how people process that information, they process that information. I just provide it to the people and let them judge. But stats say that we're a better team without Kyle Kuzma on the floor. But I do know we're an injury-riddled team. He's dealing with injuries. Dame is hurt. Giannis is hurt. So it's hard to for everyone to get in their groove. But everybody is like a stats monster right now and all about analytics. And sometimes analytics don't tell the true scope of the game. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that I'm against Kuzma. I like Kuzma's energy. He's just a little wild and erratic sometimes. But that's the Bucks in general. We're a Jekyll and Hyde team. We could beat OKC one night. We could lose to the Washington Wizards the next night. Our main problem.
Hey, that's the man right there. That's the Wizards fan right there. That's the
Life
Wizards
hard,
fan
man.
right there.
Life hard over here, man. Life hard over here, man.
It's so much turmoil just in our fan base over here because it's like when you see you got Dame and Giannis on the same team and you struggling, it's hard to understand how you struggling. You know what I mean? It's like it shouldn't be, and it's like people just looking now, because Giannis is like God here, you know what I'm saying? Fiserv Forum was built because of Giannis, so it's hard to criticize him regardless of what he's doing. So then they're gonna point the finger to the next person in line, which would be Dame.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because if you look at Dame numbers, they're almost identical to Steph this year, even though Steph is a number 1 option and Dame is a number 2 option. You know what I'm saying? So it's like friction in the fan base as well because you got Giannis fans and then you have Milwaukee Bucks fans. They're not the same.
I can see that. I can believe that. I could 100% see that. I could 100% people falling into the hype of. I mean, look, the dude a monster. Ain't nothing to say about it. You know what I'm saying? But I can see people feeling like he ain't bigger than the team type shit, and you shouldn't treat him that way. But when you're making the money, when you're bringing the money to the corporation, that's just what come with it. Some people. Right. I remember having a conversation about Giannis, and I have been a very, very big critique of Giannis up until he won. I told Trey years ago, like, I'm going to be critical of him until he win a championship. There's no reason for you to be that good, no homo that big, and then and then you don't got a jump shot, and then you're not winning. Now you're not winning championships along with it. Before he actually won a chip. And then I hated that I Need a Freak shirt that he did a couple years ago. That little brand when Nike was playing. I had objections with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but now that he won the chip, like he can do in my mind. I'm all like he can do what he wants. He got the chip,
and that's kind of what it is. And even though he can have some games missing free throws, turnovers, it's like that don't get mentioned. But if Dame start the game 1 or 3, he's washed. He lost the step. It's pandemonium. It's just very interesting to watch. But it's just because the fan base is fragile right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we expect more than what's being produced on the floor. For sure. So now we looking for answers. And what we kind of zeroing in, we know the players are to blame to an extent, but we're looking more so at this all-star coaching staff. This is supposed to be the Voltron coaching staff. And the same mistakes we was making under Bud, we making now. There is no difference.
Speaking of the coaching stuff, y'all had Adrian Griffin in the building a couple seasons ago.
Correct.
Good record, to start off. And again, I'm on the outside looking in. Players talking, there's friction, and next thing you know, Adrian Griffin is ceremoniously out the door. For Doc Rivers, who at the time was calling NBA games from the sideline, and folks felt like he kind of backdoored his way into the job. So tell me how you feel about Adrian Griffin as a coach. At the time he was there, guiding you guys to that record. Tell me how you feel about Adrian Griffin.
I think if I was Adrian Griffin, to keep it real, I wouldn't have taken this as my first job. That is way too. Let's just start there first. I think as a coach and as a mind, he has the right ideas, but I think this type of team was the wrong fit for him because of the veterans, what they're already used to, and you trying to implement a whole new scheme. I just don't think it was the right fit. He needed a young team to grow with, like similar to what OKC had with Scott Brooks. he was a young coach growing with a young team, and then they can grow together. But you got stubborn, like he lost the locker room because he couldn't. The veterans quit on Adrian.
Who you talking
Griffin.
to? Yeah, like who you talking to?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And he didn't have the cachet or the respect yet to be able to talk to him like that. And I feel like that's why Terry Stotts left right away in the preseason. Remember, he left before the season even started. So I just don't feel like he was in the right position to be a coach yet. Or in this type of we a high profile team. I know we're a small market team, but having Giannis and Dame is going to put you on the summer jam screen.
Sure.
Yeah. So any mistakes are going to be just magnified just because of that. And I feel like he was good offensively. I felt like Dame and Giannis were using the pick and roll. That might have been something Terry Stotts instituted, but I felt we looked good offensively, but he couldn't get us to buy in defensively. I don't think we had the athletes to implement what he wanted to do defensively or offensively. Chris Middleton slow. I mean, our team is much different now. No disrespect to Middleton, that's our guy, but he definitely has lost a step after all of these surgeries. Yeah, and it's unfortunate too. Shout out to Adrian Griffin. He hasn't got another shot since. Sometimes you don't like playing dominoes. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can count now don't mean you should count. You got to wait till maybe later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
lock the board. You got you know what I'm saying? There's different ways to play it. I think he jumped at his first opportunity and just ran with it instead of kind of thinking it through.
I hear you, but if you're trying to get a job though, like how do you vet that? Like, I'm hungry. I need a job now. My babies need food. I need to get this thing going. So how I get what you're saying, because like they not fresh off a championship, but they feel like they're a championship caliber team because they just won one recently, all the things. So it's like for you to come in, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't trade if you get offered the job for the Los Angeles Lakers or whoever you feel like is the team that's closest to winning the championship right now. Me, Maestro, I'm taking the job, and and if I burn the house down, so be it. But that check coming in, I got the experience.
Right. But the thing is, he got the experience, he getting the check, but now he not even getting the looks to be an assistant coach. He's still in Cancun. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. The long term, you know what I'm saying? I felt like he maybe should have played the long game, or if he was going to take this job, he should have been like, "Hey, if I'm going to take this job, I need to get these type of players in here to run my system." I think he didn't come in with enough leverage. And as a coach, I think you need to come in with that, like, hey, I need these type of players to make my system work. If I don't have these players, I can't be expected to do blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And
so Doc Rivers was brought in as a consultant or of the sort. So with everything you just said, tell me how you feel like Doc Rivers was consulting Mr. Griffin in that time.
I'm gonna keep it real. What Doc is good at is we call Doc a politician. He know how to talk to people, make you listen and buy in, or keep people calm. So he's a person that can keep the locker room cohesive, but he's not really an X's and O's guy. And I think they brought him there because Adrian Griffin was X's and O's, but he didn't know how to handle personalities. So I think you brought Doc in. You brought Doc in to kind of try to coach him to deal with the personalities. But what they realized is when they started bringing in Doc, it was already too late. He done lost Brooke. Brooke and them didn't want him. Bobby didn't want him no more. You know what I'm saying? So he lost the locker room, especially the veterans. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was just it.
So I'm not insinuating that Doc Rivers backdoored Adrian Griffin. That's not what I'm insinuating.
You don't have to insinuate it, but it's on the table.
I think that's what happened. That's what happened.
Yeah, it's on the table. He came out of nowhere, bro.
We got him.
Yeah, like a ninja just came in. You seen him around. You seen the Beijing kind of moving around the arena floor. You like, what's going on? He here to help. Okay.
Yeah, it's like
then he just kind of slid in, and then he slid in for $10 million a year for 4 years. Yeah, so he slid in and got a nice bag.
This was coming off of being on the sideline, calling NBA games. That's the crazy part about it.
The nigga stole Adrian Griffin girl, dog. Is what happened. He stole his girl.
Derek Fisher. He pulled Derek Fisher.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Now I ain't mad at him because the girl chose, but I'm just saying. you know, like, hey, I'm gonna help you with this. He came in talking about I'm gonna help you with this.
Right.
And then he like, no, you kiss the girl, you kiss her like this, and now the girl then got a little moist, and now the girl wanted to. It's nasty behavior.
It's nasty work, but that's why what's going on now. I feel like he losing the team now.
He definitely dirty Mac them.
I feel like dirty.
That's unfortunate though, because I think, you know, since the Kuzma trade, I thought Milwaukee had to make that move, because you get Middleton out of there. You know, you thank him for, you know, the big shot in the playoffs a few years ago to win the championship. You thank him for all that stuff, but they had to get younger. I thought Kuzma was a good addition to the group. I haven't watched him quite yet. You know, from beginning to end on, you know, certain games and stuff like that. It's actually surprising to hear that he hasn't really, you know, meshed all that well. But I think one of the things that people aren't talking about with this team, and I know you guys, you said you guys dropped to 6th in the Eastern Conference. Y'all was, I think, 4, you know, for a little bit there. A potential second round matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who's been on fire this regular season. I think they had 2 different 15-game win streaks, something like that. You know, so me and Maestro, we have this thing where, you know, you got to show us for us to believe in you, right? As far as winning a championship. I feel like if Milwaukee get that 4, y'all win that first round matchup against whoever, y'all get the Cavs in the second round. I feel like that's a 7-game series with the experience that Milwaukee's got with Dame, Giannis, and those guys. Cleveland, to me, still has something to prove. And yes, they deserve the number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
They played like it and all that good stuff. But playoffs, there's just something about experience. And I don't think this potential matchup is getting talked about enough. How would you feel about Milwaukee going up against the Cavs in the second round? What does that look like for you?
I could say that I, you know, go 100% with what you're saying, but that would make me a fanatic, and I'm a supporter, and I have to look at things logically.
Okay, respect.
That's the name of the show.
Right.
That's the name of the show.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we haven't beat any elite team all year. Of course, that could change. There's different variables involved in winning and all that. I get that. But what I'm saying is we haven't done it yet, so I can't believe you until you prove it to me. I've seen we've taken Cleveland close 2 games where we lost by 1 and 2 points or something, but then we got our head beat in and just shot out the building. My problem with the Bucks is I don't trust Doc to get players in position to be effective. That's the problem I have with Doc. There'll be clear advantages we have against teams like even our last game. They don't have a big man. Why do you have Brook out there at the 3? Him and Giannis should just be dominating in the post. How are we getting out rebounded? We don't have no system. We don't have no scheme. We are just dudes that can hoop. That's what our team is, and that's my fear once we play the upper echelon, because we don't have like a floor general that can put people in the right position. Something like Chris Middleton used to do, or like a Chris Paul.
Interesting.
Somebody could say, hey, you need to be over there. You need to be over there. Did you see what he was just doing? When he does this, we're going to do that. You know, we don't really have that. We have top tier athletes on our team. Okay. And that's why coaching is important. And that's why we continue to fail at certain points, is because we need the coach to get us over the hump. We have the talent. If you look roster name for name, we probably got a top 10 roster in the NBA. But we don't have the brains behind it. We don't have like a Popovich or Spoelstra. We don't have anybody that can cultivate and groom talent. We've never groomed any talent. We've never taken over since Giannis and Middleton. Who have we developed? We haven't developed anybody, and that's what's hurting us today. We keep trying to breathe life into older players, hoping they got something left, because we can't develop and draft properly. We draft AJ Johnson, but obviously he's good, but we had to give him up to get rid of Middleton's contract. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on. So that had to happen to get us under the second apron. I just want that to be understood too. It's not like we was kicking Middleton out the door, but Middleton's contract had us in the second apron, and you can't do anything in the second apron. And Kuzma has a very friendly contract. It goes down. Instead of going up, it goes down. So even if it's a temporary move, we can at least move Kuzma. The problem that we have that needs to be addressed, I don't know about Cleveland. Cleveland got a good coach that we probably could have had. I know people want to say Cleveland.
A lot of folks could have had Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, Atkinson, right, and they didn't. And I know people want to say, oh, Cleveland had injuries last year. They probably would have been good last year, the year before that. I feel you, but this team looked different under Kenny Atkinson. They have a thing.
Evan Mobley looks like a dude. Like, he looked night and day between last year and this year.
And that has nothing to do with availability. You can see the system. They're bought in. They know what they're doing. They never look shook. I don't care how close the game is. Watch their execution down the stretch. The Bucks execution, get a ball to Dame, get out the way. Get a ball to Giannis, get out the way. It's hero ball. And when you play an elite competition, you can't win ISO and hero ball. It's ball movement and IQ, and that's what we need to improve before we doing anything in the playoffs is improve our fundamentals and IQ.
When you're getting Bobby Portis back?
4 games before the end of the season. Shout out to Bobby P.
Yeah. Well, I as much as me and Trey talk about that whole you got to show it. I don't think y'all beating Cleveland if that's what happens. But at least you will not get swept.
I agree with that. Yeah, we will definitely not. We're not getting
Doc
swept.
said so.
Because Doc said so.
The fan base is on Doc Helmet. Trust me, the fan base is on Doc Helmet. They on Doc Helmet, and we.
I read that.
Yeah, you see that in the rotations we play is crazy too. It's just a lot going on with the Bucks. Our rotations is weird. I feel like he just closed his eyes at this point. There's no rhyme or reason to who's it should be in the game. Like I said, we got some cold players that can hoop and have been hooping their whole life and they figure it out on the court. But as far as a system or a thing, we don't got that.
Last thing for me on the Bucks. So I'm a Knicks fan, and so we traded y'all Jericho Sims a few weeks ago, and you're welcome for his services. How you feel about Jericho Sims and what you've seen so far from him?
Blessing in disguise getting Jericho Sims for our team. Because we got Lurch at center and he can't move. So we needed somebody that could move their feet over here. And until he injured his thumb, Jericho Sims was giving us good minutes. All we need him to do is be a Clint Capella type. Get rebounds, play good defense, and catch lobs. That's all. We don't really need too much. And his ability to guard was really helping us. Because, Brook can't move. No disrespect, Brook can't bend down. Brook can't move. Yeah, he's very old.
Hell. Yeah,
he's 37 or something. Like
man, pushing 40.
But he's still playing close to 40 minutes, and he's always available, which is good. But he just can't move, and he becomes susceptible to the pick and roll, and they hunt him on defense. They hunt him. So. We just got to tough this out and try to figure out any adjustments in the offseason. But I do think just because now we're under the 2nd April, we at least can have some flexibility to make some moves.
Sure.
But, anything can happen in the playoffs is 0-0.
Absolutely. You ain't ready to have that conversation yet.
No, I'm not, because it's crazy because you got Giannis and Dame, and in my head, I'm like, Giannis and Dame individually can win you a game or two in the playoffs. Now, what if some other people get going? Now we can have a different conversation. Because I done seen Giannis go for 30.5 on somebody. I done seen Dame last year went for 30 twice and a half. So when you got that type of firepower, it's always up. You got a chance.
Kuzma got to be your X factor. Kuzma has to be your X factor.
But I mean,
I think Kevin Porter Jr. is our X factor.
I like Kevin Porter more than I like Kyle Kuzma. I do. I don't really Kevin Porter. I'm sorry. I don't really trust Kyle Kuzma. Like I don't. I ain't gonna say I didn't like him here, but I didn't like him here. Like it's like we brought him over here and he was, having his moments when he was scoring 25 and he hit you with a 30 out of nowhere. But it's like he's not consistent. This is like much like you're saying in Milwaukee, he's just not consistent. So it's like I ain't really care for him here. I just think that's the type of ball player he is. So it's good while he's young, you know what I'm saying, or younger, I guess.
Younger,
yeah.
Which is crazy. As a third option, to not trust him as a third option is
that's
crazy,
problematic. That's problematic.
Crazy.
Problematic. That is problematic. That's what 100% problematic. So Honest question, man. We're gonna talk about Green Bay a little bit, man. The Packers
absolutely.
a little bit. Why y'all hating on Philly, man?
What you mean? Do you not see our fan base?
Why y'all hating on?
Do y'all not see our fan base?
Why y'all want to get rid of the tush push, man?
Hey, listen to the bars. Listen to the bars. Have you looked
I
at our
have.
fan base? Have you looked at our fan base?
I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. I caught it. I definitely caught it.
They not going for that, bro. They not going for that.
I mean, for them to come, I swear I saw that story. Somebody is trying to get it outlawed, and literally like 5 minutes later, no, Green Bay is trying to get that.
Yeah, we went full Charleston White on y'all.
Yeah,
trying to get y'all.
Hey,
that play is unstoppable. But hey, you created it. Somebody got to stop it. Like
somebody got to stop it.
It's just like the West Coast offense being mad at George Seifert and Walsh and them creating the West Coast offense because you can't stop it and try to outlaw it. Nah, defense is for a reason. You got to get smarter. Y'all keep doing it for all I care. We need to figure out something similar to, you know what I'm saying, to do that. That is brutal.
Well, the Commanders, I respect what they did.
They workshopping.
Yeah.
They were workshopping.
Yeah, I respect it, but maybe that's a blueprint. Maybe not.
No, that didn't work either.
The Commanders are a problem too. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the Commanders are a problem, and they just picked up Deebo Samuel. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're number one running back away from giving Philly a real issue.
Right? No, I agree.
A number one running back. I mean, obviously they're gonna have to figure out how to stop Saquon, but
who's your squad, Trey? Are you Philly too?
No, I'm Ravens.
I'm Pittsburgh.
Ravens? Okay, a Pittsburgh. Okay,
yeah. So
I see how that worked. Then
I get
it.
It's a fun fight. It's a fun
right. No,
fight.
I get it. Yeah.
It's a fun fight.
It's mutual.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, our problem with our team is the same with the Bucks, like with the Packers, yo. Like, we don't beat good teams. If you at our level or below, we'll style on you.
Yeah,
we will completely style on you. But if you're above of our level, we can't, you know, our arms too short to punch with the guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like right now.
Yeah.
It feels like we make mistakes at the worst time.
You summed that team up real fucking good. I didn't think about it like that. That is a great fucking summarization of the Green Bay Packers. Like that, logic.
All their wins was against them lower tier.
Fucking logic.
Yeah, right.
That is.
Yeah, that's it. And it's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, but you become great by beating to be a king, you gotta snatch the head of the king.
You gotta cut his head off.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We have talent, no doubt. We got Jordan Favre on the team. He can make miraculous plays, throw a pick.
Yeah.
He got too much Favre in him. If he could put a little bit more Aaron Rodgers, get that percentage. Because even when he's talking post game, it's not even like he cares that he threw the pick because in his head he know what he saw, and if he had a chance, he would do it again because he think he could fit it in. And that's the same way Favre was. I saw the window. I know I could get it there. Arm talent supersedes brain matter sometimes. You know what I'm saying? He got to figure out the balance, but he's definitely, I think, a franchise capable quarterback. But I don't think, in my view, y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl unless you have a Pro Bowler at all three levels of defense. You got to have a Pro Bowler on a defensive line. You need to have a Pro Bowler at a linebacker, and you need to have a Pro Bowler in your secondary. That don't mean your host, but you need one at each level. That means you have one person that can dominate at each level.
I was gonna say, I thought your defense was solid last year. I thought particularly in the Philly game in the playoffs, I thought a few plays here or there. I mean, defense kept y'all in it. A few plays on offense here and there, y'all found a way to pull an upset off. But I think you're right as far as having those kind of level players on each level of the defense, like, Zaire Alexander you know, I think it's
Right.
all pro.
Look at the Ravens teams or Pittsburgh. They
Yeah.
had a dominant defensive lineman,
Yeah.
dominant linebacker, and
Yeah.
somebody that was wild in the secondary. There was
Yep.
generational talent in the
Yeah.
secondary.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
Yep.
Even if you look at the Eagles, right? Jalen Carter is a poor man's Aaron Donald. He destroys.
Mhm.
Then y'all got the linebackers, and then y'all got Darius Slay. That's the formula. I'm not saying you're gonna win it every time, but that's the formula to keep you competitive. Case in point, the Eagles are always at the top of the food chain. They either in the Super Bowl or right there. And the reason being they are dominant on all three levels. Any team that won a Super Bowl is dominant on all three levels. The only thing that can supersede that is an outstanding quarterback.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's held the 49ers back. They have that, but they don't have a quarterback. They don't have the gifted quarterback. They got Alex Smith again. They just don't realize it yet, but I see it.
They got Kyle Shanahan too.
Right, yeah.
Because Kyle, I tell you, he'll find a way to just keep throwing the ball. And I'm like, yo, you got a generational running back. Like, yo, get that man to rock. Like, I don't understand it sometimes with Kyle, man.
So you don't believe in Brock Purdy?
I just don't see where I'm not scared. Like, let me just say that there's a lot of other quarterbacks I'd be more concerned about than Brock Purdy. I feel like if we're in the playoffs, I'd rather face him than a lot of other quarterbacks. I don't want to go against Jalen Hurts. He's too mobile. I don't want to go against Jay Daniels. He got too much heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'd rather face like a Dak Prescott.
Oh, by the way, I agree with you. By the way, let's be clear. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't believe Brock Purdy.
There's no disrespect of Purdy, but again, what happened? What was he just talking about earlier? He got a coach that is schemed to the player to take advantage of his skill set. That's where coaching kicks in. Brock Purdy would be a backup on any other team in the NFL, but that coaching staff has schemed this offense around him the same way the Ravens scheme their offense around Lamar Jackson. Coaching matters. It's not just talent in any sport. Coaching matters. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'll be trying to emphasize. People try to blame the players, and I get it, but coaching is what gets you over the top. That's could make you a championship team. I don't know how old y'all are, but if you look back in the day, like when the Rams and 49ers used to go to war, like in the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm saying? And go to war. On paper, the Rams had a better team. They had Jim Everett. They had Eric Dickerson. They had Ellard. They had all these players. They had a squad.
Henry Ellard. God damn. With Henry Ellard.
You know what I'm saying? But they could never beat the 49ers because of execution and coaching. He actually said that to them. They'll never beat us because they can't execute like us when they need to. Coaching matters, y'all. Seriously.
And Montana wasn't bad. I mean, it's something about having a dude that's, you know, Joe Montana.
Yeah, but he makes a point. I mean,
look, sure.
To be honest, you know, this might be a flagrant take, but you know, Hall of Fame, all the things. But I didn't look at Joe Montana and feel like arm talent wise, he was like this superb, you know, quarterback that, you know, can throw like. If you ask me who I would take, Dan Marino or Joe Montana, I think everybody realistically, if you think about it, is taking Dan Marino.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it wasn't so much that, and that's not a slight. Joe
Montana, I agree.
Hall of Fame.
I put Elway on that list too. I would take Elway over.
Oh, absolutely.
Montana. Yeah, you know, it's just
as a prototype. He's still the prototypical quarterback. If you ask me, Elway is still to this day what he could do is still the prototype. The closest thing I've seen is kind of a Josh Allen.
Yeah,
that's the closest I've seen. It's kind of like a Josh Allen as far as what Elway brought to the table. Elway was the truth.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I get your point. System. San Francisco has been this good because of system.
Hey, Maestro, they about to get that man $45 million.
I know.
And what can they do though? What can they do?
What can they do?
Yeah, he got them, bro.
Well, they could do what they've been doing at the quarterback spot. It seemed like they got Garoppolo, they got him up out of there for Trey Lance, and they got him up out of there for Brock Purdy. They could do the same thing.
I mean, shit, they could bring Trey Lance back if they wanted to.
Word.
Hey, Trey Lance one step from Canada.
Man,
he's one step from the CFL, bro. One step.
Hey, Maestro, you said you take Trey Lance on the Steelers.
You gave me a list. And out of that list, yes, I did pick Trey Lance. That is not me saying that I want Trey Lance. You gave me a list. And
Pittsburgh better off drafting a rookie and going through the Roethlisberger process.
Well,
again.
that's why I'm saying go get Joe Milton from New England. He in his rookie year, he got the arm. We seen him play in an NFL game. I get it's only one, but look, I'm sorry, we're not going to get Shador, and I'm not convinced with Jackson Dart. I'm not. You know, a lot of people are saying like, okay, maybe go, you know, trade up to try to get Milroe from Alabama. Maybe like I ain't watching enough Milroe yet because I'm not a big.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't believe in Milroe like that. I watched him. I watched Bama. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's cool, but I think he's more of a project than anything, in my opinion. Where I feel like out of all the quarterbacks, no disrespect to Shador, when I'm looking at Dog and I'm just looking in the eyes, you know, when you see it, like, he on it. Cam Ward is on it, bro. Cam Ward is on it. At least he's selling it good. Where the way he looking, he talking, and he playing, he's selling it good. I would probably draft Cam Ward over Shador.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of mock drafts are saying. But trust me, none of them people are going to make it to 21 with Pittsburgh draft.
Yeah, fair.
And they're not making it, and I can't see us giving up nothing to trade up. That's not something we normally do. And what I don't think we would be willing to give up what it would take to move, like to get Tennessee out the way.
Right.
Tennessee's drafted Cam Ward. Let's be clear. That's what's happening.
Okay, y'all think so for real, Trey? You?
What's that?
You think Tennessee Cam Ward?
I think Tennessee is drafting a quarterback. I'm just not sure if it's Cam Ward or Shador, but I think it's Cam Ward, bro.
Yeah, I think it's Cam Ward. I don't think it's
disrespect. Cam Ward got way more arm talent than Shador.
Yeah,
he got arm.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he got more arm talent than Shador.
I think Maestro. I think your best bet, because the Giants just signed Russell Wilson to this 1-year deal. It looks like, and I'll share my opinion about it a little bit later, but it looks like they're not going to draft a quarterback in this draft, with Jameis signing as a backup based on the money, and with Russell Wilson, potentially being the starter in New York. They might pass
quarterbacks.
Yo, I had to look at my phone twice. Like, yo, they really doing this, huh?
Right.
Like, Amara. Yeah. I always talk about the Giants and their history. They've never had a black quarterback
right.
to be the face of their franchise. And you got 2 in the draft coming up, and they just signed these 2 guys. But
we'd rather get these old niggas than try to bring in some young niggas and revolutionize our franchise.
Right.
Well, the rumor has it that they trying to go after Arch Manning in the following year's draft. That's the rumor.
I can
see that.
Arch Manning is already ahead of the curve.
Typical Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know if they're gonna get Arch. Arch Manning look like he the truth. He look like the chosen one.
But the Giants probably gonna be some shit again this year. I mean, look, let's be clear. They might not be the worst team in the league, but I mean,
they'll move up. Like they might have the number 6 or number 7 pick next year. But
will they get what they? But stock wise, what they? I mean, again, this goes that whole thing. Who you giving up? Like you got to what you gonna say? I'm giving you our first rounders for the next 5 years to get Arch.
No,
the Giants would do it.
No, they definitely would do it
just to get their Manning.
But the most complete team on this panel here would be the Ravens. Y'all just a receiver away. I think y'all a receiver away.
Yeah, well, I think we're a few defensive plays in the playoffs away from, finally, winning the championship.
I don't put this last one on Lamar. I know everybody, when they lose, put it on Lamar. I can't put this last one on Lamar.
Nah. Mark Andrews, they got to trade Mark Andrews, man. I've been 100% steadfast on that.
He's a Pro Bowler every year.
Look, you seen Isaiah Likely? Isaiah Likely,
I think they need to. And look, I don't like the Ravens, but I agree that they need to go ahead and move him about the way he looked. As somebody who has to watch the Ravens based on where I live, and as a Pittsburgh fan, I need to know what my opposition is doing. He's just a step slower, but he's always going to be expensive because he's a favorite. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson likes him. Lamar Jackson likes him, so it's like a thing where it's like you're not necessarily. I won't say he's not needed, but he's not as needed as Lamar Jackson is getting better as a quarterback, as he's getting a little more comfortable with Zay Flowers. Like Isaiah Likely really is. Like if he gets an opportunity, I think he's going to be just as good as Mark Andrews.
So are we saying Mark Andrews and Kelsey are washed? Because I feel like they playing at the same level right now. Are they both washed? Are we calling them gently washed, not delicate cycle, not fully washed, harsh. Delicate cycle, you still using Tide.
I would say that Kelsey is delicately washed, and hot take, I think Mark Andrews is absolutely washed.
Oh, Trey?
Absolutely washed?
Yeah.
Washed.
Yeah, see. That's that Pittsburgh fan in the
back. His heart. Hey,
the man asked me how I felt.
Hating his heart when he said that.
The man helped me. The man asked me how I felt.
Look, hey, we trying to get a package for Mark Andrews. Don't be trying to
and
that man's trade stock.
And you can get a package based on more, but it's going to be based on what he's did as opposed to what he's going to do.
Sure,
I think we at that stage. Yeah, I think we at that stage of his career. Like look, say what you want. Like he's had injuries, he's had some plays that can cost some games. Ain't no.
Oh, it's his fault. Oh, it's his
stock is down. His stock is down, but it's not so down where a team won't look at him and say that, "Ooh, we can rejuvenate his career." You know what I'm saying? So it's like he go to somebody that got a decent quarterback. They don't even got to be a good quarterback. Just a decent. Him in Jacksonville, like just a decent quarterback that need some type of a safety blanket where if I throw it in his area, he gonna catch it.
I don't want nothing from Jacksonville except draft picks.
Hey,
Jacksonville ain't got.
I mean, I don't know what their draft. Yeah, I'm just throwing a name out there. A team.
I got you.
Hey, Jacksonville got a running back. I know y'all need a running back there in Pittsburgh because Najee Harris is very mid.
Yeah, well, he in San Diego now, so now we got a problem. So so now we got a problem. Like we were able to maintain Jaylen Warren, and that's cool. We got Kenneth Gainwell from Philly, that's cool. At this stage, and I've been saying this to Trey for a couple of weeks now, we need to go on and see how much Nick Chubb got left in the tank. Go ahead and sign him to a 1-year deal.
Is he cut?
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
And I'm surprised he's still out there. Like
me too, but everybody's scared about this injury. Everybody.
That's not the first time he's done that. He did it in college too, right?
Exactly.
He got it in college, yeah.
Exactly.
But Nick Chubb, like we talk about running backs, that's one of them ones. Nick Chubb is one of them ones. Like
I agree.
Yeah, but I feel like if you get Nick Chubb with Jaylen Warren, with Kenneth Gainwell, and we know Kenneth Gainwell in Philly, at least before Saquon got there, he was taking a lot of them fourth down carries to try to close games out. So it's not like if it don't work with Nick Chubb, we got other viable options to kind of fill in the space. But if it works out, you know what I'm saying, we can at least have a for lack of a better term, a poor man's Najee Harris where he can get 900 to 1,000 yards starting. And we be in the same boat. But it's really going to depend on how healthy he is and how good this young offensive line holds up. Because now we didn't got rid of all our vets. Dan Moore is gone. Okafor is gone. So now we got straight young boys across the front line. So we're gonna see how that work out. But I've been wanting this for a couple of years now. Like, let's get this old shit off the way. Like, they were good. But they fucked up Najee's first year, in my personal opinion. And it's like, bro, we need young boys. We just need young boys. Because I think Najee Harris is going to kill him with the Chargers. I think he's going to kill with the Chargers.
Yeah, and like I said the previous week, I think one of those two running backs I think are going to end up not being on the team.
I thought they already cut Dobbins. I thought they cut Dobbins already.
Did they?
I thought they did.
I didn't see that. I
thought they cut Dobbins.
Okay, but you and I agree. If there was anybody to cut, it would be Dobbins, just
based on injury
history and stuff like that.
But he was cooking last year, though, so I don't know.
He was.
That don't leave that. In the beginning of the year, he was cooking, so that don't necessarily leave out Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards could be cut as well.
That's true. That is true. But Dobbins did miss some games middle of the year. Did come back. They thought he was going to miss the rest of the season, but he did come back in time for the playoff run and stuff like that. Amara, since you're on, I got to ask you something. Me and Maestro, we were discussing this Russell Wilson to the Giants thing just briefly here. So, in your opinion, because here's what I think. With Jameis there now, 1 year, I think it's $4 million. Russell Wilson, 1 year, $21 million. So you figure based on the money and the name, you figure this is Russ's job. Like, he's a starter.
Absolutely.
I think this is a competition. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a competition.
Jameis can't do it, man.
You don't think Jameis could do it, man? Like, I guess here's what I'm thinking about. Because yes, 30 interceptions scare you. I get it.
He ain't never getting over that. That's never being lived.
I get it. 30 interceptions. It scares a lot of GMs. It scares a lot of coaches. I get all that. Sean Payton, I think, helped him for the stretch that he was there in New Orleans before he got hurt. But Jameis still got a stronger arm than Russell Wilson, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. He's also 18 years younger, and so like.
He said 18.
Yeah, that nigga might have just gotten that nigga might have just been born when Russell Wilson got in the league. Like, he's significantly younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, so here's the thing. You say that look, far be it for me to say that any quarterback is ever going to throw 30 interceptions in a season again. Like, that's just a difficult feat.
I would bet that will never happen.
Never happen.
I think Brett Favre done it once, and that was it for the the people who've done 30 interceptions thrown. It's Jameis and Brett Favre at some point in his career, I believe. So with that being said, first of all, he's too old. I mean, he didn't learn anything from Sean Payton. He just didn't have an opportunity to throw a lot of interceptions.
Well, I think he learned from Sean Payton. I think the opportunity to work with him further wasn't there. Remember, he got hurt in New Orleans and he never came back to the field, and then Sean Payton left.
My point is that, and I'm saying this specifically, that snow game he beat Pittsburgh, Jameis Winston. He threw 4 interceptions that game. 2 of them in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's still doing he's still throwing prayers.
He's gonna win you some games.
He's still throwing prayers.
He's gonna lose you some games.
He's throwing prayers because he believes in God that strong. Is what he does on a football field. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it motivates players, and he does all the fancy shit. But he gets out there with the gunslinger mentality, knowing God got him. That's what he does.
And he got LASIK surgery a few years ago. Like,
that was supposed.
He ain't looking.
Yeah, he got a lot. Yeah, he got a lot of Vinny Testaverde in it.
Yeah, like, he ain't looking. He's throwing. He's saying, "Ooh, I'm running around. That dude, I might could get that to him based on my arm strength. God, you got me, huh?" And sometimes God got him more than he don't.
Yeah. Hey, look,
that's Jameis Winston game.
He gonna win you some games. He gonna lose you some games. Like,
that's it, right?
That's how you can sum him up, like, throughout
Jekyll
his
and
career.
Hyde.
Yeah.
So, because even if you look at it, the year he threw the 30 interceptions, he also threw for 5,000 yards.
Exactly.
And 30-something touchdowns.
30-something touchdowns. So he has talent. He has talent. Let me just say that.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's talented.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He is talent, but he is backup talent. He's backup talent where you got to have receivers that can do phenomenal shit. And I guess that's as much as, and then let's be clear, I didn't want him in Pittsburgh, but that gunslinger mentality with a DK Metcalf and a George Pickens who do phenomenal shit, like,
it might work.
It might work, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't gonna work, and you need somebody that ain't gonna work with the Giants, because I like Darius Slayton, but he ain't that guy. You know, he ain't that type of guy. Like,
hold on, Malik Neighbors.
It's gonna be Malik Neighbors, and that's it.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is legit.
But that's easy. They're gonna triple cover Malik Neighbors. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like put the safety on top. And look, Malik Neighbors is gonna do him regardless. Like you said, Malik Neighbors is Malik Neighbors. But I think That's because they think they got a running back in Tyrone Tracy. I think they would want to give it to somebody who doesn't turn the ball over. The defense is halfway decent. Like you just don't got time to be playing these games with, he doing phenomenal shit one game and then he go back to doing trash at the other game. It's frustrating for a defense. Frustrating for a defense. Like we saw it in Cleveland. I agree. It's frustrating
when they played the Broncos and that back and forth. Yeah. No,
it's frustrating for a defense, especially when you got a decent defense. It's like what are we even doing this for? If we gonna give him the ball and he's gonna put us back on the field. I think Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson gets. I don't even think.
He'll be the starter.
I think they bought Jameis Winston in to be a backup. That's what I think.
Okay. Russ will start week 1. In the end, I agree with you guys. He'll start week 1, but something tells me, and look, it's the Giants, and the Giants haven't made smart decisions over the last 10 years.
I mean, hell, this ain't even a smart decision. Like with respect to Russell Wilson,
it's not.
This ain't.
You got a top 3 pick in the draft, and you got 2 studs waiting to be picked in the draft coming up.
Look, because I don't know if it's a stretch or not, but if let's say in theory the Browns don't take a quarterback, so now the Giants are there. But let's say they do take a quarterback, so you take Campbell, you take Shador, and then 3, Jackson Dart is still there. Now I don't personally believe in Jackson Dart, but I know how his stock is being considered. Like they think he's going to be a good quarterback, so it's like. They got him as the 3rd best quarterback in the draft right now. So it's like, would it be a jump? I guess, sure. But if you're trying to build a franchise, like you should just go get a quarterback and figure out what you're going to do.
And as crazy as this sounds, they might be thinking this is what's his name's last year, Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. They might be thinking, if we're gonna skip out on drafting a quarterback this year, then let's just give him Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, and let's give them the one final year, and then we can can them both, and then we could just start fresh, new GM, new coach, new quarterback.
Because one thing that's going to happen is that, with all due respect to Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame career, all the things, and with respect to Jameis Winston, he's going to get them coaches fired. They're going to get them coaches fired.
Yeah, that's.
If your theory is that theory, you know what I'm saying? If your theory is that theory, he's going to get them fired. They're done. They're done. So why not? So I mean, look, these are billion-dollar corporations with people who know how to make the money. I wonder, conspiracy theory, 10-4 on, if they brought in 2 black quarterbacks just to shut up people like Trey, who says we don't bring in black quarterbacks. We're going to bring in 2 black quarterbacks, watch them shit the bed all year, and be like, see, this is why we don't get niggas in our franchise, and then go get Arch Manning when he's available.
So they play Jedi mind trick.
Hey, bro. Clip it up, Trey. Clip that shit up. Hey, clip it up. I'm just saying.
Man, be trying to tell niggas, man.
Hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, Nikki ain't gonna be happy with me, but it is what it is, man. It is.
But she gonna be happy when Arch come into the building. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, man, what you gonna say?
Hey, Amara, one more thing for you, man. We can't let you go without asking you this question, man. And I know you and I had interacted email, past couple of days. Milwaukee Bucks. You've been watching this team all your life. I want you to name your top 5. Your top 5 Milwaukee Buck players all time. Now, remember, it's your list. You wasn't around for Kareem. I get all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's your list. So, top 5 Milwaukee Bucks all time.
When we post this and you get hate, it's okay.
Number 1, no order. I was gonna say number 1, Sidney Moncrief. Great defensive player, point guard, shooting guard. 2010, like I like his all-around game. Definitely would put him on the list. Second, obviously there's no order. Glenn Big Dog Robinson. I felt he changed our franchise when it was in the gutter, and him being the number one pick, getting all that money and living up to expectations, in my opinion, as a number one pick, you got to put Glenn Robinson there. And then you got to bring in his running mate, which is the great Ray Allen, which I felt was wrongly terminated. He was wrongly terminated by that Mark coach, George Karl, and traded to the Sonics during his prime was unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree.
I got Ray Allen on there. And then let me see who else I want to put on there. This is going to be controversial, probably Michael Redd. I felt like Michael Redd was a really good Milwaukee Buck for a long time. And then obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to say him first. I got to give, the players in the past their credit because people forget how cold the Bucks were in the 80s. It's just we couldn't get over the top because the East was so ridiculously stacked with Philly and Boston. You know what I'm saying? Detroit. But we had a cold squad. You know what I'm saying? So I always want to make sure they get some love. And I almost threw Alvin Robinson in there, but I chose Sidney Moncrief.
That 0-1 team though, that 0-1 team probably should have gone to the finals. But there was refs and stuff.
The powers that be did not want that.
Yeah, they didn't want that.
Phil Jackson even said he didn't want to play us because back then we were kind of like we're a different version, but kind of like how Golden State played all jump shots. But we had killer jump shooters. We had Ray Allen, mid-range king, Big Dog, mid-range king, Sam Cassell, mid-range kid. Like they couldn't defend us because if you force us to shoot jump shots, that's what we gonna do all day. And we roasted the Lakers all year. I don't think they got within 15 points in any game with us. And that was Kobe and Shaq in their prime, and they couldn't do nothing with the Bucks. That was a travesty.
That was them coming off of a championship too that year. Yeah.
Giving work. But I know it's about money and I know it's a business. And you got Allen Iverson. He had the people at the time, and I don't know how you could put the Bucks in the finals over Allen Iverson. I get them. I get the it's about money.
Even though if it's the Lakers on the other side, the NBA is still doing,
but
Iverson was the MVP that year though too. He was MVP. It was too much momentum. It was too much momentum. That's why we got mysteriously people getting suspended for games. There was real impact. It was a lot of mysterious things going on along that series. To kind of, I'm not saying cheating, but they helped Philadelphia get to where they needed to go.
For sure.
That's
what would have been controversial if you said Brandon Jennings was in your top 5?
Brandon Jennings is a person that doesn't understand what he did versus in the pros versus what he was doing in high school. Yeah, that's a different. He's still thinking about how he was a man in high school and cooking these cats when he was in high school, which he was. They all say that, but then they say when we got to the pros, it was different.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. I mean, to be honest, man, when you in high school, you're not playing the best of the best. It just is what it is. Like the NBA is the NBA for a reason, where you play the best of the best around the nation, not around your state or and then eventually national. But you're not playing the best of the best, and it's really based on like you got to have an IQ. And I'm not saying Brandon Jennings don't. I'm just saying in high school, if you talented, then most of the people in your neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, you cooking, and you ain't gotta. Look, as a person who got kids and who see and watch a lot of high school games, albeit girl games, but the idea is the same.
Shout out to Girl Dad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out my baby. She ain't starting at nothing, but she on the team, and that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. That's my baby. Right. But I watch her. The other, the stars per se, and they just get to do what they want. They walk on the court and do what they want. and if they scoring points, the coach love it. And if they're not so hot, they just live with it because it's like, well, who else gonna come in and do what they do? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when you kind of go through high school like living that way, and you go to college thinking you hot shit, and then you gotta kind of adjust it a little bit. But even in that situation, it's a little more cerebral than high school, but it's still if you the one, they gonna let you do you. Yeah. And now you talking about money in the NBA. You talking about like, dog, I get paid to do this. Like, not saying coaches in college don't, but oh, you're
It's
not about to
serious.
come in here. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not about to come in here and change.
And
what
it's
we
no
do, okay?
disrespect to Brandon Jennings. You were a
Yeah.
solid player, but you got a lot of Uncle Rico and Polk High in you.
Yeah.
Where you keep living off of when you was cooking people in high school and what you was doing, 4 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Rico throwing all of that, and that's cool, but you wasn't cooking them cats like that when you came to the
Just
pro.
wasn't. And because
but he has to live off
real.
of high school though too, because of how his
he was the man. He was the man.
And then how NBA, how his the injuries shortened his career, so he can't really talk about anything about the NBA besides the 55-point game. Everything else got to be Oak Hill.
And on Gil's Arena, I guess he's still popping off about his high school days and all
you
that
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I make sure I tap into that podcast every now and then. So they you know, like no shade, but you know the Rashad McCants, they kind of doing that same like look, far be it. All them, I know them niggas could hoop, like, but you know, you gotta respect that. You know, it just didn't happen that way for y'all. So it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
It just is what it is.
Neither one of them cats should be talking crazy to Kenya Martin or Gilbert Arenas.
Because
they were factors in the NBA. Say what you want about Nick Young, he was a factor though when he played. He was impactful on a team. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Rashad McCants was a never was.
Yeah.
You just
just ain't work out for you. You know?
Just didn't work out
for whatever reason. For whatever,
You can have the most talent in your high school, college, whatever, and your career could still be a dud, even minus injuries or what have you. It's work ethic, man. It's all those other intangibles too.
It's too many variables. You know what I'm saying? It's too many variables. Like a motherfucker really gotta like. You gotta go to a team and a motherfucker really gotta like you. Or y'all gotta mesh. Y'all gotta like your plan gotta match with his plan. You can't like if you nice, but you got the star that's already nice, then it's a high probability that you're not gonna get the looks that you thought you want. You know, like it's so many variables. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like Brandon Jennings is trash or you know, or Rashad McCants is trash. Like that's just not the truth. It's just that's how it happened in the league for you, and you know. You ain't gonna be the nigga to make excuses, or you shouldn't be the nigga to make excuses. It's just like, all right, that's how it fell for me, and you just gotta respect that.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. No, absolutely.
You gotta respect that. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Amara, this was fun, man.
Absolutely. Hey, we can run this back, bro. I appreciate
whenever,
I appreciate y'all tapping
absolutely.
in. I'm gonna have to have y'all come on my side of town in politics. They get a little wild in the chat, but they cool.
Oh, I talk wild back, so it's cool.
All good.
Definitely will have to have y'all tap in. And then when you get this all, you know, sent out, I'm gonna tweet it out and do all of that stuff. When you get everything situated, just email me the link or however you want to share it, and then I'll share it out there too to my people. And
no doubt.
I really appreciate y'all. This was awesome, man. This went by fast. Damn.
Oh, man.
Have you on about an hour. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Appreciate y'all.
That's how we do over here.
I like the collaboration. We need to do more of this as far as content creators anyway. You know what I'm saying? Big, small, whatever. We just need to collaborate for people that are in the same genre and just kind of same mindset. And respect to y'all. I like what y'all doing. Like I said, keep grinding. I like the format set up. We just got to keep pushing each other, y'all. Seriously.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. For sure.
If you ever want to just chop it up on the side, just, you know, you got my information, bro.
That's what's up.
It's always something about team-centric podcasts like yours that just focuses like on the Milwaukee Bucks, like what you do for, you know, for that team. It's just something about a centric podcast that can just be dedicated to one team because you get the fan base behind you.
Right.
You get that. And, you know, because you don't get that from mainstream media.
Correct.
So to look to guys like yourself, you know, for Milwaukee Bucks content, that's, you know, that's a beautiful thing, man.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I love what y'all doing over here. Keep grinding. I love the interaction between y'all too. I like what I'm seeing, man. Hey, I just like to encourage people. Keep grinding, do your thing, man. This is a long journey. It ain't a race. It's a marathon. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So just keep grinding. Like I said, y'all hit me up every time y'all want to do this again. I'll hit y'all up to come over on my side, talk about these Bucks. But I really appreciate y'all having me on the platform, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Go ahead and plug everything, you know, your socials and
it's Amara's Logic on all platforms. I always say Twitter, X. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok And I got Amara's Logic website. Merch is coming soon. I actually had a merch, but I just want to make sure the
I'm about
supplier.
to say, I like the hat though.
the hat.
I
Cool,
like the hat.
Yeah, I got some shirts and stuff. So yeah, I'm working. I'm just trying to, branding. That's what we got. That's
right.
the next level.
That's
the next level of branding, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hey, let's chop it up, y'all. Whenever y'all got time, just on the side on the YouTube tip, I'm with that too, bro. So appreciate y'all really having me on the platform.
If it's Knicks and Bucks in the first round or second round, bro, I'm game.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Trey.
If the Wizards go crazy and go on a run, look, this gets to be a lonely. This is the lonely. I'm on the lonely side. It gets lonely over here. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Around March, April,
you wait until the end of the show to get that off. Come on, bro.
It get ugly, man. It's lonely over here, man.
I respect you. Hey, I respect you going down with the shit. That's what I'm doing. Hey, whatever. We ride.
And Chris said, "Hey, he liked how we playing, man. And we got a little win a couple weeks ago against Denver. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, y'all beat somebody else. I can't remember who.
Jordan Poole got the cooking. Poole got the cooking a little bit. Look, man, we ain't going nowhere. But hey, man, I'm a ride, man.
Okay. Man. I appreciate y'all, man. We gonna give you some food, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right,
be safe, bro. Stay in touch, bro. Y'all too, man.
Yeah, be safe in the Milwaukee streets for sure.
Oh, absolutely. All right, gentlemen, go.
All right, now. All right, man. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun. Hey, for y'all watching, man, check out this guy's podcast, man. If you just so happen to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan or Green Bay Packers fan, check this guy's YouTube channel out, Amara's Logic. You can find it on YouTube. He's also on Twitter at Amaras_Logic. Dope stuff by him, man. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun for sure.
It's always good to get the he really into it. You know what I'm saying? Like he talking that shit, like stat wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you know me, my stats. You the stat guy, but it's always good because I like to throw my little theories out there and just throw my little shit out there. So it's always good when y'all back that shit up with stats. So it's always good to have another. Well,
it was great. He's the first person we've had on that's like a Milwaukee fan. So I don't think we ever had a Milwaukee fan on before. Certain. So I thought that was cool to get some insight on his team and stuff. He's got a different viewpoint than we do on the outside.
Yeah.
And this was cool. This was definitely, hopefully that Bucks-Knicks series gets going if it, turns out that way.
Well, we can't go much further without saying rest in peace to George Foreman.
Yes.
I was trying to. I guess I got a little caught up in the March Madness talk, and because I really wanted to say that at the top of the show.
Yeah.
But definitely rest in peace to George Foreman, champion, legend.
Yeah. I actually wanted to bring my George Foreman grill here on the set for showcase.
You still own a George Foreman grill?
I have one upstairs in the garage.
Ah, that's crazy.
I have one upstairs in the garage. Yeah.
I want to get one now. Not for nothing. I know we supposed to be talking about his sports legacy, but not for nothing. I be wanting to grill on my patio, but you can't do the charcoal, and you're not supposed to do that shit on patios. But they have George Foreman electric grills that you can, what I'm saying? So, shit get crazy. You could just unplug that bitch and get it out of there. But that has been a thought on my mind because I really do want to grill on my patio, even though I'm not really supposed to. But I think the electric grill might be the shout out to George Foreman, rest in peace. That might be the answer to my grilling issues. Because
Be the way to go. Be the way to go. Yeah. I definitely wanted to make sure we got that in there. Didn't see him, fight much. Obviously, I was, too young enough to watch him in his prime. But definitely legend, Hall of Famer for sure. He actually had a sitcom, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I don't remember an episode, but I remember him having.
I don't remember an episode, but I remember as a kid he had a sitcom.
George
on ABC. Yeah, George. Yeah, yeah. So short-lived, but the fact that he was able to get one as a boxer, that meant something. So
hey man, like he kind of, I'm sitting here thinking about because a few months ago I watched the movie they did for him on Netflix. And then he was constantly a guy who he boxed and then it didn't go well, so he had to find another way to feed his people, and then he created another lane to make money. And then something else will fall, and then he find another way, and then he go boxing again. Like it was just he was a hustler.
yeah,
That's what I took. I mean, I took from that movie. Like he was a hustler, and he found ways to consistently feed his family and continue his legacy. A legend in life, a legend in boxing, man. So rest in peace, George Foreman.
Rest in peace to the legend George Foreman. All right. So one final thing here. So I know you was researching this before we got on the show here. Deion Sanders.
Let me frame this. Let me frame this on what Asante Samuel said.
Mm-hmm.
And Asante Samuel essentially said that if you put my 5 years of my career to Deion Sanders' entire career, you will find that I am the better cornerback.
Now he put up his stats and he made the comparison.
I was trying to screenshot it and get it in my notes, but it didn't pop up in my notes for some reason.
I saw the meme or the graphic or whatever with the stats and with 50-something interceptions I saw on there.
No, I think it was like 50 games played. Let me find it.
It wasn't 50 interceptions? Okay.
I don't know. Let me find shit. This now I can't find it.
Oh, okay.
Where is that?
Well, let me get to this point.
Yeah, because look, we are all in the same place.
Yeah.
Who's the better cornerback?
Yeah, Deion was the better cornerback. Now, if I want to talk about Asante Samuel's career just as an aside by itself, Asante Samuel has had a great career. If you ask me,
nobody would look at his career and say he didn't have a good career.
Right. Won rings with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. He was one of the better corners in the game for a while there.
100%.
He definitely was. I thought he was good that 1 year in Philly when he got to the Eagles that 1 year. I thought he was good. The numbers show for me that he was one of the better corners in the game. I think eventually he'll get in the Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. Yeah. I do think that there's going to be some guys that are going to get in over him first. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get in, but I do think he is a Hall of Famer. Like when it's all said and done, I do think he will get in eventually.
Do you want to hear how the beef started?
Yes, sir.
So the beef started in 2011. I guess Deion was asked about Asante Samuel. And Asante Samuel's and Deion said essentially, he's a good cornerback, but he's not a Hall of Famer. He said this in 2011. That's when this whole beef kind of started. Essentially what was going on is Asante Samuel has like some type of a course or some type. He's teaching how to play cornerback. I forget the name of the website. And basically, Deion Sanders has taken. This is his second time jabbing at the T-step technique that Asante Samuel is teaching on the course. For those who don't know, because I just wanted to make sure I understood what it was before I talked about it. It's like essentially you backpedaling. And then you kind of come out, widen your hips, and then you drive towards the wide receiver or towards the ball to make the play. And what I was reading, it says that this is a technique that's more prevalent in people who run zone coverage, which Asante Samuel has done for a majority of his career. And also it's considered like a help for cornerbacks who don't have the makeup speed. Asante Samuels did allude to or say, look, Deion is a great, but he's a great because of his talent and not because of his technique.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great Deion Sanders. And again, this is Asante Samuel speaking. This is Nat Maestro speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing. He said that if he was a slower cornerback, that Deion Sanders wouldn't be a good cornerback. But because he's so much faster than majority of the people he play, that he's able to. He doesn't have it's not so much based on technique with him, and that's what made him a good cornerback. Right. When you looked at the stats, and I don't remember exactly what the stats say, I couldn't find the graphic.
51 interceptions.
Okay,
for Asante Samuel.
And how many for Deion?
50.
I know.
Yeah, I don't have Deion's up.
Yeah, because also it wasn't. I believe, and this again, this is me assuming because I don't have the graphic in my face for some reason. He was saying, I thought that graphic that was shown that Asante Samuel posted, that's a graphic for him in his peak years. Asante Samuel in his peak years. So
right, which was
2000,
4 years. It was the last year in New England, and then those first 4 years in Philly.
Whatever he was. I think he was saying
those were his Pro Bowl years. That's why
2006 to 2011. I think is what I think was said. So those numbers are his 5-year numbers to Deion's entire career, and they're that close.
Whoa! We sure about that?
That's what Asante saying. I watched him say it. I watched him say that, and then it showed the graphic.
Oh, not Asante Samuel's 5 years. Yes, Deion's 5 years.
No, Asante Samuel's 5-year run when he was at his peak.
Okay.
That's the graphic he was showing, and the graphic it was showing from Deion was his entire career.
Okay.
Now the article I was reading, right? Because because Asante Samuel has more interceptions and all the thing, more postseason interceptions. But
is he counting postseason interceptions? Maybe
they were there too. So there were interceptions, there were postseason interceptions, and like two other variables. Okay. But the article I was reading, I think it was Sports Illustrated, made it their point to say, while that this is true, like Asante Samuel was more productive in his 5 years than Deion in his however many year career. Mm-hmm. The difference is that quarterbacks didn't throw to Deion because he was a shutdown corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the opportunity wasn't there.
And they're saying that Katz was throwing toward Asante Samuel's way.
Well, because it was a zone. He wasn't a lockdown quarterback. He played zone. So he didn't. There's no Reeves Allen for Asante Samuels because he played zone so much of his career. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the thing. Look, let's be clear. It made me when I seen him talking because Asante Samuels is I guess he a Florida cat and he got this this energy about his voice. Is like, oh shit, maybe I need to make sure that Asante Samuels ain't better than Deion Sanders type shit. I had to go. That's why I really went to go look at it because the way this nigga was talking was like, oh, like I was taken aback. Like this nigga talking jive spicy. Like this nigga might really feel like he was like, go look it up. Like I'm really
interception numbers are identical. 51 for Asante throughout his entire career. 53 for Deion throughout his entire career.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not what he would. And again, if I'm wrong, then
I think that graphic is wrong, and I'll go back and read it again.
Sure, but what he said in the video was, I'm going to post my stats from my prime years, meaning that 2006 to 2011, and then I'm going to post Deion's career, and you're still going to find that I got more interceptions than him. I got more postseason. Like I'm watching him say this shit in the video.
Okay.
So, so if he posted,
that ain't the case. I just looked at the numbers.
Okay. So maybe you're all right. Sure. So I could have fucked something up, but that's what I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna try to find the video again.
Yeah, I gotta find that graphic though too, because I saw it and then I just kept scrolling.
Yeah, but that's what I was looking at before the show, and I was trying to hurry up, and shit, we ain't got a whole lot of time. But I was trying to hurry up and get it so I could have read the graphic, but it didn't sync up for whatever from my phone to my laptop. But man. But in closing, because we got to close the show. Asante Samuels is a Hall of Fame cornerback, but respectfully, just because your stats are identical, don't mean you can, box with the god. Deion Sanders.
I mean, if that's the case, we could bring up London Fletcher's numbers and then bring up Ray Lewis's numbers and say, oh yeah, these guys' numbers is identical, but come on, who was the better linebacker? Like, come on, who had more impact? Like, it's kind of the same thing.
I hear you.
I know you don't like Ray Lewis.
No, it's not even about me not liking Ray Lewis. And again, I won't stretch the conversation because we got to go. But
yeah,
I mean, look, Ray Lewis gets. I think London Fletcher is as good as a linebacker as Ray Lewis outside of leadership intangibles. That's what I'm. That's
Yeah, so, and impact. Yeah.
Well,
I think Deion had impact off the field too. I think.
Well, I'm not talking about off the field. I'm talking about watching Ray Lewis play football, and I'm talking about watching London Fletcher play football. Mm-hmm. I think London Fletcher was just as good as the middle linebacker as Ray Lewis was, but Ray Lewis had more reins to run his team. He was considered the emotional leader, and he had a big mouth. Not in a disrespectful way, but he was more vocal. London Fletcher just went about playing the game, and but I think London Fletcher was just as good as a linebacker as Ray Lewis.
Ray's side, and I don't want to stretch it because I know we went out of time, but Ray's side to side, like
I think London Fletcher was just as good. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm. And
it just might mean I have to watch some London Fletcher tape. Maybe remind myself, but
I think London Fletcher was just as good as Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was just the guy because he was vocal, because he had the shit in 2000, and then he bounced back, and all the things. And that's not no slight to him. We know he a Hall of Famer. I just think that London Fletcher was just as good.
Yeah.
But I don't think. I'm sorry, because we was talking about this, but I do not think Asante Samuels is just as good as Deion Sanders.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't think that.
Agreed there. Big shout out to Mike Patton in the YouTube live chat.
Yes, sir.
For tuning in. Big shout out to the Frozen Pirate podcast on the IG live chat. Appreciate y'all. Also the homie Amara for coming through, talking Milwaukee Bucks and Packers and all that good stuff, man. We appreciate the listeners out there, the supporters. Tune in every week. We do this for sure. Follow us on the Facebook page. Click that like button. Hit us up on YouTube. Click the subscribe button. Also on Twitch as well. Follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. You'll find Maestro Styles at Maestro Styles on every social platform. At Trey Frazier on IG and on Facebook for me. If you got questions, comments, hit us up on the email barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And then write a review for us if you listen on the audio side. Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple. It goes a long way when you write the reviews. We appreciate it as always. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there, folks. And as always, we say each week, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh, yeah, we got him. Trey Frazier and Maestro Styles, we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.